Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a massive, fiercely debated topic, Android versus iPhone security. It is the ultimate showdown. For years, people have been drawing battle lines, arguing passionately over which device actually keeps your digital life safe, right? Well, today, we're cutting through the marketing hype and the brand loyalty. We're going to look strictly at the architecture, the ecosystems, and the hard facts straight from our source material to give you a really clear, structured breakdown of how these two tech giants actually protect you.
But before we get into the nuts and bolts of the tech, just picture this for a second. You wake up, grab your phone off the nightstand, and it's an absolute nightmare. We're talking empty bank accounts, private photos stolen and exposed, and social media hijacked by some total stranger halfway across the globe. Sounds like a movie, right? But honestly, this is a visceral, real-world consequence of a compromised device. It happens literally every single day, all because the tiny computer in someone's pocket got breached. So that brings us to the core myth-busting question. Which phone is actually safer, Android or iPhone? You hear these wild, absolute statements all the time. Some folks will swear up and down that iPhones are completely unhackable. Others argue just as intensely that Android is way better because you can customize and control your own device. Now, as your host, I am totally impartial here. I genuinely don't care which logo is on the back of your phone. My only goal is to unpack the reality of both systems so you know exactly how your data is being handled. To do that, we first need to establish our baseline. Section 1, defining smartphone security. You see, security isn't just some magic toggle switch in your settings menu. A truly secure smartphone has to protect a massive spectrum of your life. Your personal information, passwords, photos, financial data, messages, your entire identity. To do all of that, it has to actively block malware, encrypt your stored data, and safeguard your internet connection. Basically, the crucial point here is that smartphone security relies on a complex, living ecosystem. It's this combination of the physical hardware in your hand, the software running on it, how fast you get updates, and honestly, probably most importantly, your own daily habits.
Keeping that broad definition in mind, let's step into the ring for round 1, Section 2, inside iPhone security. So, Apple's approach is famously known as the walled garden. Because Apple controls the hardware manufacturing and the iOS operating system, they maintain incredibly tight control over the entire ecosystem. A huge part of their hardware defense is the secure enclave. Think of this like a digital vault buried super deep inside the phone. It's a dedicated, totally isolated security processor. When you use Face ID or Touch ID, that incredibly sensitive biometric data doesn't just float around the phone's general memory. Nope, it is locked inside this vault, completely separated from the rest of the system, which makes it phenomenally difficult for an attacker to steal. Then, on the software side, Apple flexes that ecosystem control through its app review process. Every single app submitted to the App Store goes through a strict screening process before you can ever download it. Now look, no review process is 100% flawless. Things do slip through sometimes, but this mandatory checkpoint is really designed to significantly reduce the chance of malicious software ever hitting your device. Basically, you're playing in their gated community, and they are definitely checking ideas at the door. That centralized control also translates perfectly to how vulnerabilities are patched. Apple is able to push out fast, direct security updates to all supported devices on the exact same day. There is no middleman. When Apple finds a vulnerability, boom, they push the fix, and millions of users receive that protective patch almost instantly. But what if the threat isn't digital? What if it's physical, and you just lose your phone? Modern iPhones use data encryption to make it incredibly hard for someone to access your stuff. Plus, they give you a very clear, actionable sequence through Find My iPhone. You can jump onto another device to locate your phone on a map, lock it remotely to freeze out intruders, display a message for whoever found it, and if it's totally unrecoverable, you hit the nuclear button and erase all contents so your privacy stays intact. Okay, let's flip the script and look at the other side. Section 3, inside Android security. If Apple is a walled garden, Android operates way more like an open frontier. The Android OS is developed by Google, sure, but the devices are built by dozens of different manufacturers. So to defend this open ecosystem, Google uses tools like Google Play Protect. Instead of just checking apps at the door, Play Protect is like an active security patrol. It's a built-in scanner that continuously checks the apps you've already installed for known malicious behavior. It's constantly monitoring things from the inside out. Another vital concept in Android's defense is sandboxing. Now, that sounds super technical, but it really just means every single app runs in its own isolated environment. Let's use a ship analogy to demystify this. If your phone is a ship, sandboxing creates watertight compartments. So if one app turns out to be malicious and springs a leak, The water is entirely contained to that single compartment. The bad app is blocked from infecting the whole phone, keeping the rest of your system completely afloat. Let's look at how this builds into Android's flexible defenses overall. Android uses file-based encryption, meaning it scrambles your stored data so it's unreadable without a passcode. But because it's such an open ecosystem, the hardware features, like whether you use a fingerprint, facial recognition, or just a PIN, vary widely depending on the manufacturer and the specific model you buy. You get an amazing amount of choice. The trade-off, though, is that your security update speed is highly dependent on your specific phone maker and cellular carrier. Unlike Apple's direct pipeline, Android patches often have to bounce through the manufacturer and the carrier before they finally reach you.
All right, it's time for the main event. Section 4, the head-to-head matchup. Walled garden versus open frontier. Let's bring these two giants together and compare them directly. For app security, iPhone has a restrictive review process, while Android offers an open ecosystem that gives you freedom, but definitely requires more user caution. Software updates? iPhone is direct and fast across the board. Android varies. Super fast if you have a Google Pixel, but can be significantly delayed on other brands. And customization? iPhone is controlled and consistent, whereas Android is highly flexible. It really is a classic trade-off between control and freedom. When it comes to malware targets, we gotta look at the historical data impartially. The iPhone's closed ecosystem genuinely does make broad attacks more difficult to execute. Android, on the other hand, has historically been targeted more frequently. And the reason makes perfect sense. They have a massive global market share, and the platform allows users to install apps from alternative sources outside the official store. A larger target with more entry points naturally attracts more bad actors. But you know what's really fascinating? Despite all their differences, Apple and Google are totally converging when it comes to user privacy. Both platforms have introduced major privacy improvements recently. No matter which device you are holding today, you have access to advanced app permission controls, and you'll see those little visible indicators, like a colored dot on your screen, whenever an app is actively accessing your microphone or camera. Both giants clearly realize that privacy is absolutely paramount. This brings us to a huge pivot in our explainer. Section 5. The real security factor. We've spent a lot of time talking about processors, update pipelines, and software ecosystems. But honestly, we need to shift our focus away from the devices and onto the human element. Here is the reality check. No phone, no matter how ridiculously expensive or brilliantly engineered, is completely immune to cyber threats. The threats we face are universal. Phishing attacks, where fake emails trick you into handing over your logins. And no, that prince does not actually need your bank details. Malicious apps trying to grab permissions they absolutely do not need, unsecured public Wi-Fi, weak passwords, and social engineering where attackers literally bypass the tech entirely just by manipulating you directly. None of these threats care if there's an Apple or a robot logo on the back of your phone. They are targeting your behavior. And that is exactly why your defense comes down to essential security habits. These are the actionable steps you have to take to build an impenetrable defense, regardless of your OS. Keep your operating systems updated. Download only from trusted sources. Please, enable two-factor authentication on all your accounts, so a stolen password isn't game over. Review those app permissions regularly, avoid clicking suspicious links, and definitely keep your device tracking and recovery tools turned on. Which leads perfectly into what is basically the mic drop thesis from our source material today. I want you to really absorb this quote. Ultimately, the biggest security factor isn't the logo on your phone, it's how you use it. The debate over iPhone versus Android security is super interesting from a tech standpoint for sure, but it is completely secondary to your personal habits. Good habits trump hardware choices every single time. So, bringing it all together, the takeaway is actually beautifully simple. The safest smartphone in the world isn't defined by its brand. The safest smartphone is the one that is updated regularly, protected with strong authentication, and used responsibly by its owner. The tech companies give us incredibly powerful tools, but your daily decisions hold the real power over your digital safety. And that wraps up our deep dive for today. Now that we've laid out all the facts, the differing philosophies, and those universal threats, I want to leave you with this question to reflect on. Based on everything you just learned, which phone do you trust more for your personal security? Android or iPhone? And why? Think about which ecosystem actually aligns better with your habits and your need for control versus flexibility. Thank you for joining me on The Explainer. Keep those security updates installing, and I will see you next time.